I was born in suburban Illinois to a family with 3 teenage boys and a mother and father who, as the story goes, really wanted a little girl. I was spoiled rotten. As a baby and toddler, there was always someone to play with me, hold me, and carry me if I didn't want to walk anymore. My family of my alphabetized brothers, Alan, Brian, and Clay, meant that I would be named something that started with D. So my father found a name in a baby book that meant Pearl of Wisdom and decided to name me Dara, which rhymes with Sarah, though at the time none of us knew that most people would have difficulty pronouncing it that way. My brothers were so much older than me that I didn't really grow up with them. They were more like uncles who came to visit at Christmas or perhaps over summer break. Even though we didn't live together, I did inherit certain qualities from each of them. An interest in music, an aptitude at math and science, a keen ambition and desire to succeed in life, and even the penchant for doing funny poses next to statues. Like one of my brothers, I always enjoyed dressing up in fun clothes. And believe me, the 70s had plenty of those. I also endured some weird hairstyles along the way as well. Before developing the cat allergy I have in adulthood, I had several pets growing up which I loved. They were trusted companions, especially my long-term buddy, Butterscotch. My parents were incredibly encouraging and gave me the confidence to pursue whatever I wanted in life. Though they are no longer alive to give a call and share life's ups and downs with, I'm so thankful for the unwavering support I had from both of them through most of my life. And now that they are gone, I'm glad to still have my brothers to call and share with them the joyous good news and difficult sad news of life. I had an overall happy childhood with lots of friends who would come and visit and play at my house, since I was kind of growing up as an only child. I particularly loved having birthday parties and recall many memorable soirees over the years. As a young girl, I fell in love with the color hot pink, aka magenta, and that love has never faded. It has stayed as brilliant as this hue, which just makes me feel happy to look at it. My parents were fans of long road trips, and as a young girl, I was able to explore lots of the United States and Canada by car. On one of those long trips, I was introduced to otters by my father. I discovered that they were energetic and attention-seeking, and somehow felt a kinship, another love that has lasted through the decades. I went away to university at 18, all the way from my hometown in Illinois to Northern California. Little did I know that this was where my future husband was growing up, and that we would meet years later in Southern California. In 1985, I traveled with a dear friend around Europe for the summer and paid my first visit to the UK. We explored the cities and towns of England, the countryside in Scotland, and the castles of Wales. I fell in love with Britain and made it a goal to return one day. After 4 years at uni, I graduated with a degree in industrial engineering and several lifelong wonderful friendships. I had enjoyed a few years in the sun after my youth in the snowy environs of the Chicago area, but it was time to return to the frozen north. I made the move to snowy Michigan. For 2 years of grad school, it was time to study marketing at the business school, make more wonderful friends, and continue to experiment with crazy hairstyles and clothes. It was the 80s after all. The 2 years of extreme cold and insufficient sun caused me to then migrate back to California to begin my career. I settled in Southern California where I worked in the hotel business for a couple years before starting my long career in the food industry. I spent decades marketing food products, which was a great fit for me because I really love thinking about food, talking about food, and eating food. While in the Los Angeles area, I made the biggest and best decision of my life, to marry Ian Sandland, an Englishman who had emigrated to California as a young child. He had finished uni and settled in Southern California as well. We had a brief courtship, an even briefer engagement, before getting married in July of 1992 in Los Angeles. We celebrated with 3 wedding receptions, One that day, an afternoon tea-themed reception in Glendale, California, followed by a gathering at my parents' home in Sleepy Hollow, Illinois, and then a party at Ian's mum's house in Herefordshire, England. Though our courtship and engagement were brief, our marriage has lasted 32 years and counting. 1 year into our marriage, we moved from California to Texas, and 25 years after that, we also bought a flat in Gloucestershire, England, to spend part of our time in our retirement years. My years with Ian have been a grand adventure, most notably being the years of 1996 and 1998, in which we welcomed the addition of 2 sons to our family. Trent and Weston have been the focus and priority in my life. It has brought me so much joy to see them grow and learn and achieve great things in their lives. I'm grateful every day for a supportive life partner by my side and 2 caring and compassionate sons who are kind enough to keep in close contact with me. I'm not gonna lie, I have brainwashed my sons to love otters and hedgehogs and Britain since birth. And when Weston and Trent were about 12 and 14, we made this epic pilgrimage to this location to take this photo, which is of course one of my very favorites ever. We have instilled in our sons a love of travel and a strong connection to Britain. I would say our happiest times as a family have been where we've been exploring faraway parts of the world together. As I turn 60 years old in a few days and celebrate my birthday in Belgium, eating lots of fries and cheese croquettes and chocolate and waffles, my heart is full as I reflect upon the first 60 years of love I've shared with family and friends who have made this life journey so rich and rewarding. I look forward to seeing what the next chapter brings, and I hope along the way I can live my own motto of doing something good in the world each day.